Hello and welcome everyone back aboard the spicy ship. I am your captain here, Spice7, and this is one of many homes for Sea of Thieves guides and gameplay. In today's video, I have a guide based on how to catch every single fish in the Sea of Thieves. I'm not going to be going over the basics of how to fish, but more looking in depth on how to catch every fish in the game and breaking it down into 3 categories. The specific bait needed, the specific location needed, and the specific circumstances needed to catch every fish in the game. Now, let's get on to the video. Before I go in depth on each individual fish, there's a few things I can talk about the fish as a whole. First of all, there are 10 different types of fish, each containing 5 fish inside of them. 3 of these fish will be found pretty easily, and you will find it almost any time of the day. You must catch 50 of these 3 fish. Next, you have a nighttime fish. You will have to catch this one 50 times as well, but you're only going to see it at night. Finally, you have a fish you only have to catch 10 times, but will be much rarer and you will see it much less. One more thing to take note of is that each fish has a little description on their panel. This description will always explain what bait the fish needs, whether it's leeches, earthworms, or grubs. However, there are 3 fish that do not take any, and that is IsleHoppers, Splashtails, and also Pondies. It also sometimes mentions the location of where this fish is, so remember to keep an eye on the description if you need any quick hints. To start things off, I'm going to start with the easiest fish class in the game, and these are the Splashtails. Splashtails require no specific circumstances, and you can find these bad boys anywhere on the map. From the shores of Plenty to the wilds, and even in the Pirate Legend hideout, anywhere you go on your adventures, the Splashtails will be there with you. Now, these Splashtails also do not require any bait, meaning you have very little preparation to go out and grind these fish. Your 3 regular Splashtails consist of the Ruby Splashtail, the Sunny Splashtail, and the Indigo Splashtail. Your nighttime fish, as you can see me catching here, is the Seafoam Splashtail and glows a bright green at night. Your rare fish is the Umber Splashtail. Now, this fish is obviously rare, but it's not as rare as some of the other 10 catch fish in the Sea of Thieves. Splashtails are really good for a quick food source, as you can find them anywhere, and fish give you a ton of health. So, if you are about to go into a quick fight, grab some Splashtails if you have time. Splashtails are the easiest fish to catch in the game, so grinding them out first is good, and it's very good for practice and fishing. One more thing to note about Splashtails is they are usually used for Hunter's Haul events. Now, Rare does this because you can find these fish anywhere and they're very easy to catch, so if you're looking for some cool cosmetics or any extra loot in the game, you're probably going to be catching Splashtails for those big events. The next fish I'm going to talk about is the Plentifins. Now, these fish are pretty easy to catch, but they are a step up from Splashtails, so you need to step up your game. As their name suggests, Plentifins are found in the shores of Plenty, and they do take earthworms. So if you head to the shores of Plenty with your pocket full of earthworms, you should be able to grind these fish out pretty quick. Your 3 regular Plentifins consist of the Olive Plentifin, the Amber Plentifin, and also the Cloudy Plentifin. Your nighttime Plentifin is the Watery Plentifin, which glows a vibrant blue in night. Your rare Plentifin is going to be the Bone Dust Plentifin, which are a bit harder to catch than Umbers, so you're probably going to be grinding these fish at the end of your fishing journey for Plentifins. Now, Plentifins really aren't super special. They're not used for any events, and Splashtails are much easier to catch and use for food, so Plentifins are mostly just a fish you have to grind in the game. The next fish we're going to be going over is the AncientScale. Now, these fish take about as much skill as the Plentifins to catch, as they are only found in one location of the map, but are pretty easy to find overall. Now, AncientScales, as their name suggests, are found in the Ancient Isles, and their bait needed is going to be leeches. The 3 regular AncientScales consist of Almond AncientScales, Sapphire AncientScales, and Smoke AncientScales. Their nighttime fish is going to be the Starshine AncientScale, and it glows a bright green. Your rare ancient scale is the bone ancient scale. However, these are an incredibly hard fish to find, so anytime you see one, consider yourself lucky. Now, the same as Plentifins, ancient scales aren't really that special. They're just a fish you have to grind out in the game to get all those accommodations. The next fish we have to talk about is going to be the WildSplashes. Now, these fish are very similar to Plentifins and ancient scales, as they are found in only one specific location of the map, and that is going to be the wilds. The bait for WildSplashes is going to consist of earthworms. The three regular fish for WildSplashes are the russet WildSplash, the sandy WildSplash, and last but not least, the ocean WildSplash. Your nighttime WildSplash is going to be the coral WildSplash and will glow a sort of bright red. Your rare WildSplash is the muddy WildSplash, which can be quite rare. WildSplashes, just like the other two fish found in certain locations, aren't very special and are only needed for accommodations. Next up we have DevilFish, and these are kind of the end to the almost location-based fish category I've just been going over. However, DevilFish are a little bit different than the last three fish I've been talking about, because when you're catching these guys, 10 times out of 10, you're getting smashed by volcanoes and losing super rare fish, so they're very, very fun to grind. As I just said, DevilFish are found in the Devil's Roar, and the bait needed for them is going to be grubs. Your three regular DevilFish consist of the Ashen DevilFish, the Seashell DevilFish, and the Lava DevilFish. Your nighttime DevilFish is the Firelight DevilFish and glows an almost orange to red color. Your rare DevilFish is the Forsaken DevilFish, and these guys are really rare. Not to mention, you're going to have to grind them while getting pelted with firing hot lava balls, so good luck with those. Up next, we have IsleHoppers. Now, IsleHoppers are pretty easy to catch. The only problem is it can be kind of hard to find where these fish are hiding. In their little description, it says that IsleHoppers are found near islands, and this is very true. You're going to want to head to an island and cast off of it if you want to catch your IsleHoppers. In my experiences, I have caught more IsleHoppers off of larger islands than smaller ones, so you might want to head there. IsleHoppers are like Splashtails and require absolutely no bait, so it's pretty easy to prepare for these guys. Your three regular IsleHoppers consist of the Stone IsleHopper, the Moss IsleHopper, and the Honey IsleHopper. Your nighttime IsleHopper is the Amethyst IsleHopper, which glows a bright purple. And your rare IsleHopper is going to be the Raven IsleHopper, and these can be pretty hard to find, as every time you cast, you're not guaranteeing yourself an IsleHopper, and you're going to find a lot of Splashtails too. So, as you're fishing for IsleHoppers, check to make sure you're catching them and not Splashtails, as both of them requiring no bait could cause some problems. The next fish we have to talk about is going to be Pondies, and I would say that Pondies rival Splashtails in easiness. Now, Pondies can be found virtually all over the map at any island that has a pond inside of it. My favorite Pondie location is going to be Mermaid's Hideaway because it's very secluded and most people don't end up going there to interrupt your fish business. Now, Pondies usually only take one cast in because they're in such a small, watery location, meaning you can grind these fish out virtually 3 times faster than regular fish, as most of the time regular fish will take 3 times to cast in. Pondies also do not take any bait, making them super easy to grind out with a full crew if you can get a full crew at Mermaid's Hideaway grinding these fish in the ponds. Your 3 regular Pondies consist of the Charcoal Pondie, the Orchid Pondie, and the Bronze Pondie. Your nighttime Pondie is the Moon Sky Pondie, which glows a light blue at the night. Your rare Pondie is going to be the Bright Pondie. However, don't be concerned, as these things are pretty easy to find, and if you're doing any Pondie grinding at all, you're probably going to catch them. We only have 3 more fish to talk about in the Sea of Thieves, and it just so happens that they are also the 3 hardest fish to catch in the game. To start us off, we have BattleGills. BattleGills are only found at active skeleton forts or near skeleton ships. However, it's better to catch them at battle forts because this way you can grind them for much longer and you don't have to chase a skeleton ship. BattleGills take the bait of grubs, and the 3 regular BattleGills consist of the Jade BattleGill, the Sky BattleGill, and the Rum BattleGill. Your nighttime fish is going to be the Bittersweet BattleGill, and your rare is going to be the Sand BattleGill. Now, the Sand BattleGill is one of the rarest fish in the game, and usually it takes people a very long time to grind this fish out, so good luck with that. The best strategy to catch BattleGills is server hop until you find an active fort, and then head that way and catch the fish as long as you can. Alright, we're on to another very difficult fish to catch and find, and that is the StormFish. Now, StormFish look very much like a sailfish do in the real world, and as their name implies, these guys are found only in storms. Now, this can be a little bit difficult to catch as it's very circumstantial, so anytime you're in a storm, I recommend just pulling out your fishing rod and starting the grind. StormFish will take leeches as far as bait goes. Your 3 regular stormfish consist of the Ancient Stormfish, the Shores Stormfish, and the Wild Stormfish. Your nighttime stormfish is going to be the Twilight Stormfish. And finally, your rare stormfish is going to be the Shadow Stormfish, a pretty decently rare fish. Also, not to mention, you're going to have to catch it in a storm, and you could be getting struck by lightning. Stormfish are a bit difficult to grind, mainly due to their location and just storms being overall very hard to catch anything in. Alrighty, we have talked about every single fish in the Sea of Thieves except for one, and in my opinion, it is the hardest fish to catch, and that is going to be wreckers. Now, wreckers are so hard to catch because they can only be found at shipwrecks. Now, while you're sailing the Sea of Thieves, you'll definitely come across a decent amount of shipwrecks, but this is the most specific fishing location, and you're not going to come across them all the time, so it can be a bit hard to find them and then start catching those wreckers. Wreckers are going to go ahead and take earthworms for their bait. Now, your 2 regular wreckers are going to be the Rose Wrecker and the Sun Wrecker. And then you have a very unique wrecker known as the Black Cloud Wrecker. This fish is considered regular, however, you can only catch these fish during storms. So it's almost a storm fish inside of the wreckers. So not only are you only catching this at a wreck, but you're also going to have to be during a storm. So my recommendation for these fish is if you happen to get these 2 circumstances by chance without grinding fish, pull out your fishing rods and hope to have some bait, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to grind these fish. Now, your nighttime wrecker is going to be the Moon Wrecker, and your rare wrecker is the Snow Wrecker. The Snow Wrecker is very rare as far as these fish go, but you will be able to find them. It's just the grind of getting those shipwrecks and grinding out the fish. Now, all the things I just mentioned easily make wreckers the hardest fish to catch in the game. Alright, that just about sums up how to catch every single fish in the Sea of Thieves. You know, fishing was a great addition to the game when it came out, and I think it would be a good idea to add some new fish into the game to freshen it up, maybe with some new circumstantial fish and stuff like that. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of extra cash, consider cooking your fish for a bit of extra gold. However, it doesn't make a huge difference, and I usually don't do it, because I'm usually annoyed with the grind and don't want to cook my fish and just sell them to Merrick raw. Now, if you catch every single fish in the Sea of Thieves the required amount of times, whether it's 50 or 10, you will unlock the legendary Hunter of the Sea of Thieves commendation. This is one of the rarest titles, and it lets people know that you are an absolute grinder in fishing. So if you're looking for some cool titles, you might want to start catching all these fish. I hope this guide helped everyone learn a little bit more about fishing in Sea of Thieves and is going to help everyone get to that special commendation. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Sea of Thieves guides and gameplay, consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out. I also have a Discord channel you can join in the description below. If you want to see my Sea of Thieves action live on Twitch, you can find that in the description as well.